failure rates recorded in Kano. And so they have 47.4%, but there weren't that much success with respect to the test of the card reader. Let's take you down south again to Rivers. In Rivers State, different scenario completely. Look at that. In green, 81.6% success rate in green. Those were the amount of people who turned out successfully with the field test of the card readers. Just 18.4% of the failure rates of the card readers that INEC conducted with that field test. So, after all of this field test, elections day came. INEC eventually deployed the card readers on the day of the election. So the next slide now shows us that now on the 28th of March, the card readers were deployed to all of the polling units across the country. And then the second part speaks about what happened in some areas. The card reader failed in several areas that it was, even though the commission says they gave us a percentage of where the card reader failed. Then INEC ordered officials to resort to manual accreditation where the card reader failed. So they spoke about the figure of the card readers that were brought into the country and the percentage of those card readers that just wouldn't work. Remember, they said, I think it was about 400 that were DOD, dead on arrival. And then there was attempt, the commission chairman did say that much, they did attempt or were making plans at the time to ensure that all of those ones that were dead on arrival were replaced. In other words, you had a spare one for each polling unit across the country. That's the impression we have. That's what the chairman of the commission did say. So, on the 6th of April, INEC did say they insisted. As a matter of fact, this is a press release that was released by the commission. Although looking through it, you see that it was signed on the 2nd of April, but then it was indeed released today. And so the commission did say in that press statement, the provision of the guidelines for the conduct of the 2015 general elections, which outlined what is to be done if a card reader fails and cannot be replaced by the commission within a specified time frame, i.e., rescheduled the election to the next day, will be enforced. Secondly, on that press statement, the relaxation of the guideline on 28th March was only with respect to the presidential and National Assembly elections held on that date. Thirdly, the Commission has reviewed the operation of the card reader in the 28th of March elections, identified the challenges, and has taken adequate measures to address them. So, this is the press statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Commission, signed by Mrs. Augusta Ogaku on the 2nd of April, but it was released today by the Commission. So, INEC eventually releases this press statement, speaking about all that needs to be done. But, you know, following the deployment of the card readers, the test, and how the elections turned out, this was the comment of the chairman of the Commission. He spoke at several occasions and several forums, so we'll just pick several of them, some of them, and then just bring them to you. This one says, the Commission had no regret deploying the card readers. The crooked ways may have been dealt with or have made rigging impossible for them. And then the chairman of the Commission goes on to say, would-be riggers are the ones crying foul. They know the card reader will stop alteration of figures and that technology made it difficult for corrupt electoral officers to pad up results. So this is the comments coming through from the chairman of the commission. Remember, they also had foreign observers, both within, from Africa and beyond the shores of Africa. So the first of which was from Santiago Fisa, EU Chief Election Observer, did say, despite the hiccups, still the best form of accreditation, speaking about the card readers, and he went on commending Nigerians for exercising their right to vote, making use of the card reader as well. But you know, it wasn't only Santiago Fisa, the EU observer, that spoke upon this mission, looking at the third statement there, but you also had observers from Africa also speaking. But after they spoke, you also had members of the party within the country, first of which is the People's Democratic Party. Now, the comments coming through from Pt.2, the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, did say at the time, with the use of manual verification, he says, well, there you go, we have indicated, speaking about those challenges that were reported at the time. When we raised these issues, people said we were being alarmist. So he just felt all we did ask for is free, fair, and credible elections. So that's from the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Pt.2, speaking up about the deployment of the card readers. But the APC also had comments about the card readers severally. So this one comes through from T. Ekechi, who happens to be the APC Director of Electoral Planning and Monitoring. About the card reader, he says, it created the sanity we have today. Antics employed by persons that wanted to scuttle the process, technology should be sustained and improved upon the card reader process. He says, look, it demands patience with those who have got to use them. So there you go, all of those. But some of the complaints too, let's see if we could give you a list of some of those that were highlighted at the time about the card reader. Non-verification of fingerprints, which was also highlighted in some of those states that they had this field test of the card readers. Slow accreditation process, which also was witnessed on the elections day proper. Non-removal of protective film on the lens of the equipment. So those who were trained but for some reason forgot that they had to do this, remove that film to allow usage of the card reader. And then low battery to power the card reader. Some of the hiccups experienced with the use of the card reader. But don't forget, the chairman of the commission today released a statement about this one concerning what to do with the card reader. Well, we have a man, Larry Lasisi in Abuja. Of course, he was the one who was at that collation center. But before we get to him, let's listen to the chairman of the commission while he was speaking about the card reader at the time. Let's listen to it.
It is also gratifying to note that the card readers worked well in the majority of the polling units, even though there were areas where difficulties experienced necessitated additional guidelines by the Commission to allow for manual accreditation of voters as announced yesterday. So far, Osun State, Kebbi, Ekiti, Adamawa, Borno, Jigawa, Anambra, Akwa Ibom, and the Ebonyi states have reported reverting to manual accreditation of voters in some polling units. Investigations into what accounted for the difficulties encountered